Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Titan Sports. I'm Isabella Lyons.
Hey everyone, I'm Darek Beeman.
What's up, Titan sports fans? I'm Joseph Bianchini.
Hey everybody, I'm Jonathan Mansour. We have lots to cover today, so let's get the ball rolling.
As the season shifts to spring, I shift to the diamond for the start of the 2026 MLB season. And with first pitches being thrown out across the league today, the road to October starts now. The Los Angeles Dodgers enter the year with one goal in mind, becoming the third franchise to achieve a three-peat. Four-time MVP Shohei Ohtani and 2025 World Series MVP Yoshinobu Yamamoto lead the way for the boys in blue. But the addition of star outfielder Kyle Tucker makes the lineup even stronger. Down in San Diego, the Padres will look to steal the West. Right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. anchors the offense, but losing Dylan Cease and Robert Suarez in free agency will surely hurt a pitching staff that finished top 3 in ERA and opponent batting average last season. Over in the AL, the Angels hope to make the playoffs for the first time since 2014, but with future Hall of Famer Mike Trout on the decline and a pitching staff that walked the most batters in baseball, the Halos should prepare for another season that is far from heaven sent. The Dodgers are favorites to win yet another ring, but the Yankees, Mariners, Mets, and Blue Jays are all top contenders to spoil the SoCal parade. Guys, MLB season, first pitches being thrown last night. The Yankees get a big win over the Giants to kick off the season, and then more games going on today. Obviously, the Dodgers, massive favorites coming into the year. Obviously, adding Kyle Tucker and other options. What do you guys think heading into this season is key for the Dodgers or other teams if they want to contend with the Dodgers for a World Series pennant?
I mean, just to start off, I'll start off with the Angels. They have intriguing pieces. You know, you have a core of Reed Detmers, Logan O'Hoppe, Zach Neto, Nolan Schanuel, but I kind of feel like it's now or never for this team. Like, are we going to know what their true potential is? These players have been in the league for close to 3 years now. It's time to show up and actually perform. But for the Angels, their biggest concern is going to be their pitching staff. They already have some players on the IL regarding their pitching staff. Kirby Yates, Grayson Rodriguez, Alek Manoah. It just seems like it's repeated every year, the same issues. And all I want is the Angels to get Mike Trout into the playoffs. It's all baseball fans want, and we want a healthy Mike Trout. But kind of going back to what you're saying, can anyone beat the Dodgers? Unfortunately, I don't think so. I mean, they just keep spending. Now they have Edwin Diaz as well, which their bullpen was their weakest link, and they added and got one of the best closers in MLB. MLB's a joke. Okay? It's a joke.
Yeah, I want to speak on the Padres a little bit. I feel like it's going to be very difficult for them to compete with the Dodgers as they put 8 players on their injury list, 4 of which were starters. And on top of it, they have a new starting catcher, Freddie Fermin. And I'd say he's defensively solid, but he's going to struggle a little bit on offense here. So like you were saying, yeah, it's going to be hard for a lot of these teams in this new season to compete with the Dodgers.
I kind of want to talk about opening day, Yankees versus Giants. I mean, that was the first road shutout on opening day since 1967 for the Yankees, and they completely just silenced San Francisco's offense. We saw Logan Webb struggle a little bit there, allowing 7 runs, 9 hits in 5 innings, and he found it difficult to bounce back after that second inning from New York. I do have a hot take. I don't know if I see the Yankees going so far into the playoffs. I think that Aaron Judge has kind of fueled them the last 5 years, and he's getting up there in age. Back in 2023, when he wasn't even the MVP, Yankees went 82-80, and not to mention he went 0 for 4 in strikeouts in the World Baseball Classic, and he went hitless on opening day.
Yeah, I mean, speaking to that, too, the AL East is one of the better divisions in baseball. The Blue Jays, you know, the Yankees may have won the division. I don't know if the Yankees or Blue Jays did, but the Blue Jays were the team that made the World Series last year, and they're going to be in a similar spot roster-wise this year. Obviously, they lost Bo Bichette, but I want to talk about 2 sneaky teams. The Boston Red Sox, they were a team that got really hot at the end of last year. They have an unbelievable pitching rotation. Garrett Crochet, Sonny Gray, Ranger Suarez. They've got a full year of Roman Anthony. We saw what he was doing in the World Baseball Classic this summer. And then one other team, I got to mention them because they're my hometown team, but let's put some respect on the Athletics. One of the most dynamic young lineups in the league. We're talking Kurtz, Rooker, Wilson Langoliers was one of the best hitting catchers in the league, Lawrence Butler, Tyler Soderstrom. They have a true young core of bats in that lineup, and the pitching's always going to be a little shaky, especially when you play in a minor league ballpark, but their bullpen got hot towards the end of last year. I'm not saying they're going to be contending with the Dodgers and Padres of the world, but this is a sneaky wildcard team that could put up a lot of offense during the season. Now, of course, we're talking MLB, but Jonathan, Cal State Fullerton baseball, rough against CSUN, but they're back.
Yeah, they're back. They're back. After losing their last 4 games, CSUF Baseball traveled to the 619 on Tuesday and took out their frustrations on the University of San Diego, putting on an offensive clinic. Andrew Kirshner got things started in the first with a line drive just over the glove of the shortstop, bringing in Cameron Kim from second to give the Titans a 1-0 lead. Fast forward to the fourth inning, and Cam Burdick extends the Titan lead to 5 with a solo shot, his second of the year. The outfielder nearly robbed it, but the ball was just out of reach. The Titans extended the lead to 7-0 before the Toreros roared back, scoring 3 runs off of fielding errors, then hitting 3 towering home runs. Diego Gonzalez smashed a homer into the campus dorms in the 6th inning before Gabe Springer and CJ Moran went back-to-back in the 7th, bringing the game to a 7-6 nail-biter going into the 8th. Paul Contreras put the noise to bed in the 8th, though, smacking a no-doubter into the parking lot, his team leading 6th homer of the season and 2nd of the night, making sure to let the San Diego faithful know how he felt while rounding the bases. The Titans won this one 11-6, gaining some momentum to carry into their road series against Hawaii this weekend. After a very disappointing weekend for the Cal State Fullerton Titans, getting swept by CSUN at home just overall was an embarrassing showing, especially considering that they left 22 men on the base pads. Nice to see this offense get going and score 11 runs in San Diego.
We know baseball is a streaky sport. It's always going to be the nature of the sport. The bats, they were getting base runners. They were just not converting to runs. And I think a game like they had against USD is exactly what you need to get back on track, right? Sometimes you're slumping a little bit. You can't get your runners off base. Okay, that's fine. You have a game against San Diego, you start scoring those runs, and then you carry momentum against a series in Hawaii. Obviously, now they're back in the win column. Just some good positive momentum for the team heading into the really meat of the schedule this time of year.
Yeah, I think Fullerton really set the tone fast. They never trailed. They built a 4-0 lead by the 3rd inning, scored in the 1st inning. Andrew Kirchner's RBI double, setting the tone there. Paul Contreras' home run. Cameron Kim, he's really had his consistency this season has just set Fullerton on the go. He hit a double in the 8th, 13 doubles on the season. He's tied for 2nd in the nation. I think this is going to be good prep for their series against Hawaii. They have 3 games against them this weekend. They're 3-6 in conference, 12-10 on the season, so we'll see what happens then.
With them scoring 11 runs, I feel like that's just very good for them to see their offense back into motion, especially with Paul Contreras having his run in the 8th. I feel like that was very efficient for their offensive prowess.
Yeah, and then you see Ty Thomas. He had a really nice game on the offensive side. 3 for 5, RBI, and 2 runs scored. Now they go on to Hawaii, which you kind of alluded to the record. Kind of similar to CSUN. CSUN didn't come into that last weekend as a dominant force and still swept the Titans. The Titans cannot fall asleep in Hawaii.
The Los Angeles Lakers saw their 9-game winning streak come to an end Monday night as the Detroit Pistons pulled out a 113-110 win in a back-and-forth thriller in Motor City. Detroit was shorthanded without All-NBA guard Cade Cunningham, but his backup Danis Jenkins stepped up in a big way, dropping a career-high 30 points with 8 dimes to lead the Pistons' offense. All-Star center Jalen Duren also made his presence felt. The big man scored 20 points and grabbed 11 boards to secure his 37th double-double of the season. The Lakers are paced by Luka Doncic, who finished with 32 points on the evening. Austin Reeves added 24 of his own, while LeBron James fell just shy of a triple-double with 12 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. LA came back from 16 down to take the lead late, but it was Jenkins once again who delivered the knockout blow, hitting the go-ahead jumper that put Detroit in front for good. The Pistons' magic number for their first 1 seed since 2007 is now 6, with just 11 games to go. Despite the loss, the Lakers bounced back last night, defeating the Indiana Pacers 137-130 to put themselves a game and a half in front of the Nuggets for the number 3 seed. I feel with their losing to Detroit the other night, their biggest faults, I would say, was not on the defensive end. I feel like they were pretty evenly matched, but a problem of offense. They just couldn't convert from the three-point line. The LA shot 27% from 3, while Detroit shot 42%. That's nearly a 20% difference in their shooting percentages, along with their leading three-point shooter, Luka Doncic, only shooting 3 for 13 from 3, and Austin Reeves shooting 2 for 6 from 3.
Yeah, definitely a big discrepancy on the behind the three-point line. You mentioned it, a nearly 14% or just above a 14% difference. But hey, if the Lakers are going to lose to any team in the league, lose to teams in the East, because you're not going to give anyone in the West an advantage, a 2-game advantage over you, because they win and you lose. So if you're going to lose to the East, it's fine. They had a 9-game winning streak. Luck was going to run out eventually, and it's fine that it ran out against the Pistons, a very respectable team, #1 seed in the East, even though without Cade Cunningham. Jalen Duren, he had his way in the paint. 11 rebounds, and the big fella shot 10 for 10 from the free throw line. A big fella shot 10 for 10 from the free throw line. That is insane. He's been playing like he is an all-star this year, and he's playing like an all-NBA team player. And then you have Jenkins, who is just a straight hooper. I love watching this guy play, man. He is a straight bucket getter. That shot that he hit over Austin Reeves with 24 seconds left to give the Pistons the lead, it was just pure hoops. It was pure hoops. It was just a hooper, and it was a very tough shot. I love to see it. As a Laker fan, I've had to respect it, give him my props. But really good rebound for the Lakers last night against the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers aren't the best team, but Luka, he had 43 players, and a total of 4 players with 20-plus points. And then the team also gathered 15 total steals. Very nice showing, and big shout-out to Jackson Hayes, who stepped up in DeAndre Ayton's absence with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 stocks.
Yeah, I think we've seen LA really struggle, even during this win streak, with defensive rebounds. And coming into this game, I think Detroit knew that they were going to have someone from the bench come up and take that place of Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart, and obviously that was Danis Jenkins. 30 points, 8 assists, 100% free throw percentage. He had an 80% three-point, and he was 4 from 5 from deep. So I think that if Detroit is dropping 30 on the Lakers without their star players, I can't imagine what's going to happen when they come back for playoffs.
I think Detroit is so fun to watch, man. I think any sports, we saw it with the Lions in the NFL a couple years ago, when Detroit sports teams are playing good, it's fun to watch. They've been one of the best home teams in the NBA this year, and I think a testament to what you were saying, Jonathan, I'm not a big Lakers guy, but they've been playing unbelievable basketball as of recently. You're not going to win every single game. This is a respectable loss against a legit finals contender in Detroit. The fact that they're doing this without Cade Cunningham, it's really a testament to the coaching staff and the culture that they built in Detroit. We've seen the continual improvement over the last couple of years, and it feels like it's culminated into this year, in which they're more than likely going to be the 1 seed in the East. Obviously, a couple teams behind them like Boston. I just think this team is so fun to watch. It feels like selfless basketball. When Cade Cunningham's out, who needs to step up? It's Jenkins this game. He's a bucket getter, like you said. It's unbelievable. And for the Lakers, I think, like I said, respectable loss. But let's see some. I think the big differentiator, as opposed to other teams like Detroit, is it really feels like the Lakers, all their points are concentrated between Luka, Reeves, and LeBron. And it felt like in this game there was an inability from the guys on the bench and the other guys to score, whereas Detroit, it feels like any one of their guys on the floor can get you a bucket. I want to see the Lakers. I need to see some of these other guys outside of their big three step up if they really want to go far into the playoffs and beat teams like OKC, like San Antonio, or like a Detroit if they make it as far as the NBA Finals.
March Madness has begun, and the Sweet 16 NCAA tournament is officially set. The Big Ten leads the way with 6 teams in the Sweet 16, ahead of the 4 from the SEC, 3 from the Big 12, and 2 from the Big East. It's the second most for any conference after the SEC had 7 last season. Moving into the round of 32, the pressure intensified. The Big Ten went 6-1 in the second round, with the only loss coming in UCLA's 73-57 loss to UConn. Alex Karaban scored a career-high 27 points, and Bill Murray had the rest of the UConn crowd roaring with every splash three-pointer, helping send the second-seeded Huskies back to the Sweet 16 on Sunday night. UConn's Sweet 16 opponent will be third-seeded Michigan State in the East Region semifinals on Friday night in Washington. Top-seeded Arizona is advancing with a win against 9-seeded Utah State 78-66, playing 4th-seeded Arkansas in the Sweet 16. This will be the 4th time in 5 seasons Arizona is advancing to the Sweet 16 under coach Tommy Lloyd. Arizona dominated on the glass, out-rebounding Utah State 54-26 and shot 39 free throws compared to just 11 for the Aggies. Jaden Bradley led Arizona with 18 points. The Sweet 16 games will begin later on with Texas and Purdue. Now it's time to really get into the madness, because brackets are busted and hearts are broken. Derek's been locked in on all the chaos and clutch moments, and unlike Jonathan's picks, he's ready to deliver. What do you got for us, Derek?
Thank you very much, Isabella. Today we have a very tough matchup between the #1 ranked Florida Gators and the #9 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. So without further delay, let's get it started, shall we? All right, so right here we have Xavier Lee coming off the fast break to bring the Florida to a lead 4-0 here, but Iowa will soon answer back with a layup of their own. Up next, we have Xavier Lee coming for a deep contested 3. Bang! It's money. Now, he looks like he's trying to find his hot hand. Doesn't go, but with some hustle, gets his own rebound, goes up for an easy lay. 2 points added for Florida. Now, with the game here, Iowa's looking to tie up the game. Drives baseline, kicks it out to big man Fullerton. Pump fake, 3. Will it land? It's right on the mark. Now, up next, we have Xavier Lee yet again for a 3. And it's money, of course. He's livening Iowa up in this first half. Up next, another 3. Looks like he's fouled there. And it's right on the mark. It will go. Now up next, Boogie Flan looking to find the lane here. Drives, finds big man Condon down below for a Lob City finish. He's zipping through the air. Love to see the big man flying up there. All right, up next, Boogie Flan yet again driving, looking for a gap in defense, coming off of the pick, finds a gap, gets an easy 2 points for Florida yet again. Now, right before the half, we have Iowa looking to score, come up before the half, analyzing the floor here, comes off of a pick, driving, spins off his defender, mid-range layup. Will it go? Yes, it will. Just before the half. But coming to the half, Iowa with a lead. Kicks top of the key. 3. Will it land? Yes, it is so. The 3 is on the mark. Now, cross-court pass, number 8, Brandon Koch for 3. Yes, on the mark. Lands another 3. Iowa is lit here. Now, down below in the paint, banging down below, looking for a nice layup. Easy 2 points for the big man. Now, yeah, another 3, top of the key, yeah, again for Koch, man. He's shooting up Florida. Florida, what are they going to do to stop this? A down below, big man. Alex Condon for the slam dunk. Easy 2 points for Condon. He is attacking that rim. Yeah, again, down below, nope. Denied by Florida Gators. Fast break. Who are they going to give it to? Of course, Xavier Lee. Let it fly on the fast break. Why? That's why. Because he's shooting that 3 and he is landing it. Florida is making a comeback. Isaiah Brown making the layup. What time is it? It's game time for Iowa. What are they going to do here? What's up next? Fullerton in the corner for 3. Bang! Iowa, 73-72, less than 5 seconds left. What will Florida do in this situation? They've given it to Xavier Lee. He's been lining up all game. Drives baseline. They are stuffed. They are stuffed here. Iowa, number 9, the underdog in the series, defeating the number 1 ranked Florida Gators in a heartbreaking defeat. What a triumphant victory for Iowa, a heartbreaking defeat for Florida. Now, my question to you guys is, we've seen lots of madness this March. What other madness have you guys discovered in this March?
Well, that whole segment you just did, Derek, was madness. Excellent job. I got to say, that game was phenomenal, and the other game that was phenomenal, Nebraska-Vandy, back-and-forth game, just pure hoops every which way. Braden Frager with the game winner, and at the buzzer, Tyler Tanner from half court heaves it, and that was halfway in, man. It was the most heartbreaking fashion for Vandy to lose, and what is so exciting about Nebraska winning that game is now in the South region, we have Iowa versus Nebraska. That arena is going to be nuts in Houston. The other South game features the Houston Cougars taking on Illinois, so they'll have a home crowd. Those 2 games in the South that are taking place today as we're filming this, just unbelievable. This has been an unbelievable tournament so far. That game and Nebraska-Vandy have really taken the cake in my eyes, though.
Yeah, I think going back to that Iowa-Florida game, going from defending national champs to not even making it to the Sweet 16, absolutely heartbreaking. They were able to get the lead back there. They were down by 12, but just couldn't deliver in the end. Iowa was making not like easy shots. And the end there, they were really making some tough 3s. Xavier Lee, I think if he really would have slowed down there could have been 1 or 2 guys open, and he could have even gone for the reverse layup instead of passing so late. And even if he would have missed, he could have, gotten some free throw opportunities. He could have drawn a foul. Going back to that Iowa-Nebraska game, I'm excited for that. I do have Nebraska, but I think Iowa is coming in with this momentum from beating the former 1 seed. They're 1-1 against each other. They were able to win over the 1 seed with Bennett Sturtz. He only scored 13 points. He's their star player, 0-9 from 3. So I think they're going to come in with some chances against them.
Yeah, I'm low-key kind of very excited for this Nebraska-Iowa Sweet 16 matchup. It's going to be absolutely electric, especially considering that these are 2 big-time rivals. They do not like each other, and there's a spot to the Elite 8 on the line. Kind of going back to the Florida versus Iowa game, first of all, really great job by you. That was amazing. It's kind of crazy that Florida cannot get a shot off at the end. I mean, that's kind of not the best way to lose a game, especially your season. Ball just ended up being loose there. But the game that I'm looking forward to in the Sweet 16, by the way, these are a lot of great matchups. You kind of just go down the list. Number 1 overall seed Duke versus St. John's and Rick Pitino, who is coaching a hell of a team right now. And then you have Texas, who's on a little bit of a Cinderella story right now. They're the only double-digit seed remaining. Arizona versus Arkansas, Braden Berries and Jaden Bradley versus Darius Akoff Jr., who has now become into top 4 NBA draft pick talk. And then Michigan State versus UConn. This is the big one right here. Dan Hurley versus Tom Izzo. My keys to watch: Michigan State, their three-point shooting. They're shooting 37% on the season. They need to keep that going, especially against UConn. And for UConn, they need to make Jeremy Fears uncomfortable, who is really the engine of the MSU offense, and Terrace Reed's rebounding ability, and Alex Karaban to stay hot offensively if UConn wants to move to the Elite Eight.
All right, that about wraps everything up. Thank you for tuning in. Please give us a follow on Instagram and X at TitanTV_CSUF and on TikTok at TitanTV_CSUF. We hope you enjoyed the show and look forward to seeing you all in the next episode of Titan Sports.